So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I want to quickly go over training for aesthetic purposes. So this is going to be training to maximize your fitness and then the output from all the effort that you put into physical training. So today I want to quickly go over kind of the background of why a lot of individuals get into training and why a lot of people aren't going to really see the results physically that they really want to see. So I'm going to cover that. And then I'm also going to be looking at what makes an aesthetic physique, like what are different elements that people generally look for or consider to be an aesthetic physique, and then have to look at the exercises and training routines which will lead to those results. And throughout the entire video, I'll obviously be debunking some people's misconceptions about what types of training will work best for them. So yeah, that being said, if you guys want to see increased physical results with less training and develop a more aesthetic physique, then let's get started. So first things first, obviously our society a lot of the times will try to say that, you know, looks don't really matter. But the truth is that your physical appearance and your physical fitness, as well as like how you look naturally through genetics, kind of determine a lot of things in life for you, and they kind of determine some of the different opportunities that you might have. For example, if you're in better shape, I mean, studies have shown that you're going to have higher chances of promotion and you're going to have better pay than someone who's like overweight or out of shape. It's just how it is. And then obviously, naturally, our own visual beauty, there's actually a beauty wage gap slightly higher than even like gender wage gap, various other wage gaps. So beauty wage gap, which is just based on people's physical appearance, is actually somewhere around 15%, which is really high. But you can't really alter the genetics of how you look. So even if you don't naturally have this, beautiful face that I do, it's all okay. I have you covered by training your body, which can just be another form to help improve your overall aesthetics and just kind of improve like your impact, making the table shake, and kind of just like improve your impact in your day-to-day life. The reason that the majority of people get into fitness, either one, is to improve their health, but two, it's usually just to be more attractive to the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever. So yeah, it's obviously to become more like physically attractive. That's why a lot of people end up joining the fitness community. But what a lot of people do struggle with later on is actually seeing the results of their progress. They may not see the results that they want. They may not find their body to be developing how exactly they want it to. So what defines a classically good-looking aesthetic? So for guys, this generally comes down to your shoulder to hip ratio. Aesthetically, you're gonna want a larger shoulder to hip ratio. Some people in like research and scientific studies have kind of been looking at about your hips being about 90% of your shoulders. So that means your shoulders, following like a golden ratio, your shoulders are going to be about like 1.6 times that of your hip. So that's going to be kind of the basics for aesthetics for men. Obviously, it helps to really develop your shoulders and then also your arms. And then to develop this shoulder hip ratio even further, you're going to make sure that you're going to really be trim around like your ab area. So ideally you do have a six-pack too, but like it's more about kind of shredding down on the sides too, so that you can minimize the size of your waist relative to your shoulders. For females, I don't want to get into this one too far because I don't want to really judge women too harshly in this video, but from like a female perspective, when a lot of women get into lifting, they're trying to minimize the amount of like muscle that they're adding to their upper body. They would rather just become a lot more toned in their upper body physique, and then in their legs, they're actually not seeking to add too much mass to their quads. They're looking more to develop hamstring and like glutes. So that's going to be a very similar, but in a way like slightly different way to train, because you're going to be really emphasizing more glute and hamstring muscles, even if you're doing like the same routine as a guy. So I'll get into routines very shortly, but those are just like some of the aesthetics. I've kind of given you guys just like a general breakdown of human aesthetic. It's actually really interesting. I've been kind of reading about it lately. So a lot of patterns in nature, which we find really attractive, actually end up coming back down to a golden ratio, which is a mathematical principle which basically boils down to a lot of the forms that we see in nature. So the practical component is, what are these exercises? What are these routines which are really maximizing results for people? And like, how do I best take them and then put them into my own routine, right? So again, going back for guys, all about that shoulder hip ratio. So specific exercise that you can do to improve the shoulder hip ratio is really making sure that you work that medial part of your shoulder. So when you do your dumbbell flies, you really want to make sure you bring your arms straight out to the side so you can target that medial area. This is going to maximize, right? Like I'm demonstrating right now. This is going to maximize that shoulder development to really give you the broadness from the front. You really want to make sure that the pull-up is a really important part of your routine. What this is going to do, it's going to add muscle all at the top of your back, right? And then it's also going to be kind of carving down your back. So if you look from the back, you're going to notice that it's really going to give you that V shape, right? Kind of like that upside down triangle, which is what you're looking for when you want that larger shoulder to hip ratio. So that's kind of how you maximize your training that way. So at the same time, you also want to be, right, reducing the size of your waist. So this means really cutting down your abs, shredding down your abs, and then also starting to shred out the side part. And I can't really talk about this one because I hate training my side abs, but I mean, naturally it depends also. Really diet is going to be key. Diet, and then like a lot of your other activity is going to be key. And then after that, you can work on really developing six-pack abs if you want to. I do have a video for that, and I can link that. And then also, never hurts to focus on your arms. Very important. Focusing on your biceps, triceps. A very simple way to save your time in your routine is simply to superset all your bicep and tricep exercises. So say you do 2 bicep exercises, 2 tricep exercises. Instead of taking really long breaks, you can just superset between bicep, tricep, and then bicep, tricep again. Right, saves you time. All right, so more from the female perspective of a training, which I'm not actually too familiar with myself, so don't take my word for that much. Consult someone who's more experienced or used to doing like slightly different exercises. But basically, you should be able to train in exactly the same way as like men do, right? So you should still be able to do compound lifts. You're gonna have obviously less testosterone, so it's gonna be hard to become really bulky, even if you do the exact same type of training. When they do, they're gonna find that like the results are actually gonna be really good. They're gonna have that exact tone, like physique that they want to. So there's really nothing to stop women from also doing the compound lifts that everyone should be doing. So everyone should be doing compound lifts, bench, squat, pull up, dip, really type of like heavy row. I think I already said squat. Oh yeah, deadlift. So, and then overhead press. So those are all very important for any person, no matter their gender, no matter their age, if they want to quickly develop a nice aesthetic physique. The ones who are focused more on developing their glutes, developing hamstring and legs, there's obviously a lot more specific exercises that can be used to target those. So there's different variations of squats, kettlebell swings, and different types of hip thrusts. I definitely do want to say again that I'm not very familiar with a lot of those exercises or how to integrate those into your routine. So it might help to actually check out someone who knows what they're talking about on those subjects. But that's just that's just kind of the backbone of like what I'm talking about. You want to have your basically same routine. Everyone in the world would have that same routine. And then, if you're a woman and you just want to develop more of those attributes, glutes, hamstrings, then you would kind of modify that routine, like add an extra day of those exercises and like maybe take out a little bit more of upper body and like shoulders. But it really all depends based on you, based on the individual. I don't want to generalize people just based on the gender. Training tips for everyone in general now. So another key element of an aesthetic physique is having low body fat. With a lower body fat, you're going to be able to show muscle mass a little bit better. And then like if you're a guy or a girl, whatever, and you want more like vascularity, so showing the veins, abs too. So I forget what the exact percentages are. I think for men, you start showing abs at about 9% body fat. And for women, it may be, I think it's 11 or 12. But again, body fat is also, an important way of, knowing when you're gonna be able to show your abs through. So if abs are your goal, then you should also be thinking about your body fat. So how do you alter your overall body fat? Well, there's no scientific way to do like a spot fat reduction. So say you just wanted to keep your body the same and like you have like a beer belly or whatever, so you wanted to target that. There would be no specific way or like no specific exercise to just like do that. It's gonna be just based a lot more on your diet and like your overall training, right? So I do recommend doing some like high intensity interval training, or just like some type of like sprints or like harder runs, because what this is going to do is kind of cause an afterburn effect. So basically when you're performing this exercise, your body's going to be releasing all these hormones, and then afterward you're going to have this even longer kind of like fat burning phase. So if you want to lose body fat and you also want to like lose a little bit of weight, my basic training tips for you: one, perform your workouts well fasted if that's safe for you. So first thing in the morning, you wake up, drink water, whatever, but like don't eat your food, and instead do like your morning run or your morning like weight session, whatever's comfortable for you with that minimal amount of food. And then you also want to make sure at your meals, if you want to lose weight, that you drink a little bit before your meal, right? Because then that's going to minimize the amount of food that you feel like you need to eat to become full. Obviously the opposite, if you want to start gaining more weight, you would wait till the end of your meal to drink, or like drink like small sips during your meal and then drink most at the end, because that's going to be the way to maximize the amount of food that you consume per meal. I want to conclude by saying that like fitness and developing an aesthetic physique, it's really not something that can be done like overnight, or can be accomplished through like a specific exercise routine or a specific workout. So it's going to come down a lot more to your day-to-day life, your habits, especially your diet, rest, and then also how much just like physical training, physical activity is kind of integrated into your life and important to you. That being said, thanks for making it through this video with me. I hope some of this information was helpful and informative to you. Will guide you through your own training process and developing the aesthetics that you want to see in your own life. I really appreciate your support. If you could drop a sub, like, or comment, I would greatly appreciate that. I hope the channel a great deal, and just help me give you guys the best content and help improve people physically, develop them to their full physical potential. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.